introduction.
Welcome to the debate about farm workers. Each team has 2 minutes, then 1, and then another minute. And one side's going to be talking about that immigrant children should go to work with their families, and one side's going to be talking about why migrant children work or receive an education.
My name is Esni Vasquez, and we are going to debate about immigrant children should go to work with their families. So if the children work, they don't have to worry about.
Introduce.
Oh.
Keep going.
My name is Lily.
My name is Kimberly.
My name is Angie. My name is Amanda. My name is Hillcall. So if the children work, they don't have to worry about missing homework or anything. Since immigrant families work in the crops and fields, they have to move every time another crop grows each season. So the children don't have to stress out about switching schools, missing a lot of school days, and missing homework and class assignments. My grandpa didn't go to school. He didn't have education because he helped his family out with money. He now works here at Navy Thomas and finally is a citizen in the U.S. It's better to work and suffer right now so the next generation will have to go through what you guys were doing. Hunger is not, if you were hungry, you won't be able to concentrate in school, so there was no point of not being hungry and not concentrating, because you're going to be backed up. Another reason why immigrant children should not work is that they'll have an easier way to make money. It won't just help the children, it will help the whole family. The money will help them get food and necessaries they need for their family. If they went to school, they would need money to buy school supplies. Sometimes a lot of families can't provide them with that, so they mostly need money for food, clothing, and utilities. On the other hand, I believe that immigrant children should go to work instead of going to school. I have some reasons to prove why. Some of those are they don't have to worry about school and homework. Also, they'll have more ways to make money.
You don't have to keep going. If you're done, you can save the rest, and then the moderator can just let it go to the other side. Moderator? No.
I believe that migrant children should receive an education because of this giant circuit of poverty that happens and future generations suffering due to the lack of education. Now, whenever a migrant parent sends their children to work in the fields, Destiny had mentioned that the next generation won't suffer because they had been working and had earned money. But when you think of it this way, whenever everyone is uneducated, how are you supposed to prosper when you are uneducated and you can't get a nice job? You can't support for your family. And so migrant parents send their children to work. The children grow up working in the fields. They don't get an education. So the best job they can find, working in the fields again. And then they have children to work in the fields. And it's this giant circle where education never interferes to stop it because working is all that everyone has ever known. And she also brought up that money will help with food. Most schools provide food for the students, and it's usually fairly healthy because it's a school. And if they weren't providing healthy food, then how do they expect the children to learn? So, and also people say that they need to go to work because family sticks together. But that's selfish because the parents or the guardians are saying that everyone needs to suffer together. It's like older generations, you had your chance.
You can finish the sentence.
Okay, you had your chance at an education, but you missed it, and now you're making your children suffer the same way.
Okay. So, so what I believe Angie was trying to say that, like, you know, when she was saying that since if they're being, like, selfish and if they're, you know, not, you know, if they need the education and if they keep going to work, you know, because since they're not just the children, if their families are also, you know, if they're all immigrant, they're gonna have to move, you know, to a lot each year because of the crops that grow every season. And if they grow, like, you know, and if the children have to keep going to school, have to keep going to new schools every time they move, how will they, you know, catch up? It will be, like, more difficult for them to, you know, get ready and have, you know, and if they aren't used to it, they won't do a lot of work, which will lead them to drop out, or they just won't go to school at all, which will be can also cause to them, you know, flunking school. And also, you know, if they go to school, they also need, you know, sometimes the money for, like, books or just anything in general. And, you know, since families, usually immigrant families, the money they get is from working in the field. So it will they probably won't have enough that they usually need. So, you know, they won't get all basically the school supplies. Yeah.
I believe all migrant children should attend the school. I believe all migrant children should attend the school because if they go to school, they'll get a chance or an opportunity to learn. And then, as she said, that they won't have money to buy books, as the school provides books for free. They just have to keep it like a better chance of not writing in them. And another reason is that if they go to school, they'll get a better job instead of working in the field like for 15 hours, and then they get like $30-40 per day. And then if they get a job, they'll have $30 or $40 for every hour they work. And then if they go to school, they'll also get a chance to participate more and then share their expressions to a counselor, because every school has at least one counselor. And then
I would like to talk about what Angie said, that like when the families like go to work, it's never gonna break the code of like going for them to keep working and working. Well, I like to say, like, my parents both were immigrants, and they both worked in the farm when they were smaller, and now their kids, which is me and my family, they don't have to work, and now they have a better future. So what Angie was saying is, like, sometimes they can break. They had to go through all that trouble, and now they need their new generation become better than what they did, which is now benefiting the parents of all their hard work.
Okay, well, the topic that I chose was immigrant children should be allowed to go to school. And one reason why I chose is because in school they will always be traveling, and so they will always meet new people. Meeting new people allows them later on in any job, because you always have to do public speaking. Also, whenever these farm worker children feel neglected, sometimes feel like if they don't matter to the world, that they're not different from any other people. And so, well, I always need a friend who's there, who I can actually express my feelings to. And I think we all need a friend. I think you guys agree with me, because if you never have that person who's always there by your side and hearing out what you have to say, then you'll always be keeping those feelings that you have of neglection in your heart, and you'll never let them out until one day you just explode. Also, that can also lead to depression, and depression can also lead to suicide. Another reason is that welfare and food stamps. Well, you may say, oh, these people, they're illegal, so they don't have those opportunities. As I was discussing the other day, oh, sorry.
That was 2 minutes?
One.
No, it's still her turn. Keep going.
As I was discussing the other day with another person, we were saying how, oh, they may not get the same benefits that we may get because they are illegal, but it doesn't necessarily have to be illegal. Like last time, Miss Stark, she mentioned that she worked in the field, and that doesn't mean that she's illegal. I mean, a family could have easily given birth here to a couple of students, and those children grow up to be citizens, so they may have the same benefits that we may have, and welfare provides you with amount of money that you may not even get from working in the fields, and you can actually send off your students to go to school. And food stamps, you also get free food for no cost at all. You just keep saving those up, and well, you don't even have to send your students to school.
Now it's going to be 1 minute. Each of you, same order. You'll have half the time you did last time. You can respond to anything any of them said.
I forgot me, but I forgot
Okay.
Menender. Menender said was that school that you don't need that much to pay your books, but when you get to college you do. But there is the government can help you to pay your school things, but we do need to buy school supplies such as notebooks and and I want us to respond on Huckabeth about the free food stamps. The government, like I said, the government can help you with the free food stamps, but with the people that are not always there for you, you have your siblings, and I kind of agree with both of them. So you need
So, Lily brought up that they won't have money from not working in the fields. That is their source of income, and that children can help bring in more of that income. But I would like to bring up that you're saying you're using future generations as a tool to make a few extra bucks. And if that's not selfish, I don't know what is. Because wouldn't you rather have your child prosper and grow and actually have a chance at a life instead of letting them be this little drone to working in the fields, back-breaking work to set them up to fail, to set themselves up to fail? No, they can't actually have a shot at having a better life.
Okay, yes, I do agree that it is little money, but little money to them can actually be a lot to them, because they may be working hours and hours on the field, yes, but when they get money, that probably makes them the happiest. When they get food, that makes them the happiest, So little money, it may be little money to us, but to them it can be very important, or really big to them. It will really mean a lot to them. So and it wouldn't. So.
So I still believe that migrant children should go to school because, as she said, that.
Who is she? Which one?
After.
You can always say, as my opponent with the long curly hair, or as my opponent with.
As my opponent, curly hair girl said that they get a little money by working in the field, but as Huckabeth said, they get food stamps, which they could buy free food, and then he said that Leslie said that we have to buy books and notebooks, but if we